You know what it is. It is the Kansai Collective coming here today with a special guest. I'd like to introduce you all to Paul Apice. Apice? Apice. All right. We are here today, not in our normal spot. We are out in Kobe, Sannomiya, to chat with you guys and introduce you to a good guy, Paul here, and what he does in Kobe, his facility, which we have been blessed to work at today. So, Paul, thank you for joining me, man.
Thanks, man. Zane, Asa, right on. Two cool cats.
Two cool cats. I appreciate it. So, Paul, I'm going to have to recommend you speak more into your mic, as we will not hear anything you say.
Right.
I made the mistakes. It's okay. I make them so that you don't have to. But, Paul, so where are we today? Tell me about what is this place?
This is called Alchemy Kobe, and we're at the rooftop. This is called the Ember Room.
Room.
It's an open air rooftop bar, and this is about 6 years old now. So we've been developing this over the past 6 years or so, and getting there finally.
Oh,
bit by bit.
It is a
Piece
beautiful,
by piece.
beautiful place, man. Again, thank you for having us out.
Thank
so,
you.
when I first met Paul, I drunkenly stumbled into this kind of like fairy tale land of a bar here, and was greeted by a wonderful bartender who's also the owner of the establishment. And very quickly we hit it off, and I figured he would be perfect introduced to the group, to the Kansai Collective. I love what you're doing here. Paul, how long have you been in Japan, and where are you from originally?
Originally, I'm from Rhode Island.
Oh,
and,
tiny state.
Yeah. Nobody in Japan knows where that is, so I just say I'm from Boston generally.
Boston.
Right?
I'm from Philadelphia. All my Delaware friends.
Right.
So from Rhode Island. How long in Japan?
11 years now.
11 years. Yeah. Okay.
So
First Asian country, or where were you before?
Nope. I lived in Taiwan for 5 years.
Oh,
That's actually where I started this concept, and made my way over 5 years later. Here I am, still in Asia.
So what is this concept? Get right up next to your mic and just let everyone know.
Yeah. So this is basically the first floor. I teach English during the day, and we have a bar restaurant down there, and then in the middle floors, the second, third, and fourth floor, we have a share house.
Okay.
And then on the rooftop, we've got a nice bar up here and barbecue. So we have some live music, acoustic
live
type
music,
stuff,
people coming in. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
So we'll be sure to just pan. Maybe we can do it right now. Just pan to some beautiful shots of this wonderful establishment. So lots of things going on. It's kind of a hodgepodge of different activities, right?
Very much so.
As you said before, it's never boring, right?
Never boring. Yeah, you can say that for sure.
So if I can ask, so why did you come to Japan? If you were in Taiwan, why did you end up here in Japan, and why for so long?
Well, actually, I came here to do my master's degree at Kangaku. And I initially wasn't planning to come here.
Okay.
I headed to either Hong Kong or Singapore, but my wife is from here, so we came to Japan, and I did my master's here. And then as I was doing my master's, I started the English school aspect of this, and then all the other pieces came into play.
Just kind of fell together
later. Yep.
So was Japan her choice or your choice, or a collective choice?
Well, actually, we were kind of forced to come here.
Because,
really? Yeah, there was a family issue in her family, so we were kind of forced to come here and take care of some serious issues.
Of course.
So, but it was a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, the circumstance brought you here.
Yeah, it was really, really a blessing in disguise.
I
really.
see. It's kind of a theme we got going on, and people are just drawn to this area in Japan. You don't know why, but once you're here, it's very hard to.
Absolutely.
Leave,
yeah.
right?
And Kobe is such a community-based city.
So
it's really attractive.
Now, me and Zane, of course, as the show knows, we're based out in Osaka. For the viewers that don't know, so the Kansai area is Osaka, Kyoto, Kobe are the three kind of big metropolises here. From Osaka, it's about a 20-minute train ride over to Kobe, where we're at right now. And the vibe is a little different. It's definitely a wonderful place. I absolutely love Kobe. But tell us more. What do you think about being based in here in Kobe? Do you think Kobe is better for what you're doing with Bar Alchemy, or would be Osaka or Kyoto better? So what do you think?
Yeah, it just depends. I mean, this place really needs community. So if I were to, try to open a place in downtown Tokyo, for example, it wouldn't work well.
Yeah.
We need community to thrive here. So that's really the central idea
of this building.
Of this concept. So.
And you definitely get that sense of community. I mean, I remember the first night I was here. I mean, just the cluster of different lives you encounter in this building is interesting in and of itself. So if you guys are ever in the Kansai area, I highly, highly recommend. Please come visit Paul here at Bar Alchemy. Now, I know I've heard before, but why don't we tell you guys now, this building itself, before you bought this building, what was it?
It was an apartment, and I think what it was used for was for transitory workers. Yeah, and so these apartments they're really quite small, and there were several people living in the apartments
sleeping.
at the same time. Yeah. So, and then the earthquake happened.
The earthquake, yes. Now this kind of might be, again, if you're new to Japan, if you have no experience here. So in 1994, 95, the Great Hanshin earthquake was a horrible situation, absolutely devastated Kobe. And from what Paul's told me, a lot of the people that were in this building just disappeared.
Yep.
Right. But the building was stayed, of course.
Yeah. So the rooms weren't opened since 1995 until I got here. So it was quite a time warp going into the rooms, and it's taken me still. I'm still trying to clean up and.
So when did you buy the building, or when did you come into ownership of this place itself? How long ago?
Yeah. So me and my wife came here around 11 years, and I started investing in.
Okay. Property and real estate.
Yep.
Okay. So you were essentially opening rooms that hadn't been touched since 95.
Yeah.
Right. So you can argue maybe 10, 15 years, 20 years just untouched.
Untouched.
Now what was that experience like? Kind of peeking into this.
Spooky.
Okay.
Yeah.
Is the building spooky, do you think?
It was when we first got here. So people would come up to visit me up here.
Okay.
And they would get this kind of feeling
down the back of their spine,
behind the back of their spine, and run up the stairs and go, I think there's a ghost in this place. So,
oh man!
So that was part of the premise of clearing the negativity out of this building, because it was really a dead space.
Of course.
So we thought, if we have music down here, if we have people cooking and drinking together and laughing, it will exercise any of the negativity.
Bring back some of that positivity into the building.
Yep.
And I definitely, I can attest that you walk into this place and very, very quickly you're greeted with, the hospitality and the coziness almost. Yeah, and I think compared to a lot of other, Kansai has no shortage of small little bars to drink in. But the moment you walk into Bar Alchemy, if you're coming for a live show, if you're coming to grab a coffee, if you're coming to grab a drink, you immediately just have this overwhelming sense of like a homey feeling. You feel like you're very cozy, very welcome there. So that's one thing I've always loved and appreciated ever since the day I met you. Another question. So why Kansai? Was that because of your wife's family, or what aspect? Okay.
Yep. That's where she's from. She's from here. She's from
which
Kobe,
city? Kobe?
Kobe. Yep.
Kobe. Okay. So it was all set in the cars. You ended up in Kobe. All right.
Yep.
So now, an interesting question, different topic. What's your favorite stereotype about Kansai? It's the Kansai Collective, so what do you think about Kansai?
Well, Kobe in particular, I love because it's a port. It's a port city. So this was one of the first places that foreign influence came into.
Of course.
And especially the jazz
scene
of it. Yeah. And if people don't know about Kobe jazz scene or just the underground music scene in general, fantastic, absolutely amazing. And because
you guys
so
have
many
live performances, right?
We do indeed. Yep. And the amount of quality musicians here in Kobe is astounding, really. And even the young musicians, really young people that have high level of musical ability. It's pretty amazing. So
now, do you guys? Is it just Japanese crowd, or do you get foreign artists? Or
oh yeah, we bring in international artists, and we like to support the Kobe artists, not just music. Art of any sort. Yeah, we try and give these guys exposure. So yeah, we try and support the Kobe art scene, but artists from everywhere
Anyone's
are welcome.
I see. And
Absolutely.
now not only artists but also cyclists, right?
Yeah.
So tell me more about the cyclist aspect of that. Now you're a cyclist yourself?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I did a trip about 3 years ago. I did Alaska to Mexico. Took me about 6 months.
Alaska.
Yeah. Anchorage to Mexico.
Okay.
Which was a really interesting trip.
Super long.
Yeah. So and
did you get a lot of chafe? Just kind of.
Oh man, a lot of everything, man. A lot of anxiety.
God, I can
most of all,
imagine.
Really. But yeah, so I was part of a group, kind of like a couch surfing group called Warm Showers, and in that group they offer rooms to stay for free. And the hospitality of the people in the cycling community are just
wonderful,
absolutely amazing. So the first 4,000 kilometers of that trip, there were no people, no warm showers. So I did
down the coast of BC.
Camp. Yep.
Yeah, down through BC into the Seattle area. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So once I got down to Vancouver,
civilization.
Then I started. I was able to find a lot of warm showers folks.
Okay.
And started staying
people
with
that
those.
you can not sleep in a tent. Hopefully.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
So I was very appreciative of having a bed.
So how has that kind of come into what you're doing with Bar Alchemy in terms of the cyclists?
Yeah, so we have 10-bed dorms here, and because of the Airbnb situation, which is not legal here, we just donate the rooms to cyclists that come through, and we're trying to encourage cyclists to come down to Kobe, which most tourists don't know anything about Kobe. So they do the big three. They do Osaka, they do Tokyo, and they do Kyoto.
Oh,
so
that's the typical cycle tour or cyclist tour in Japan?
Well, yeah, I mean for tourists in general, right?
Oh, tourists, not cycling, just tourists.
Yeah,
very true.
So we want to give them a reason to come to Kobe and experience the beauty of the terrain here and the ocean and the mountains and stuff. So, yeah. So, and when they do, they're pleasantly surprised usually.
Excellent.
Right? Yeah,
Very,
lots
very
of nice
good
stuff to see.
Okay, well, I think so. From there, now we talk a lot about getting a business set up. I've gone through it. I know you've gone through it. What are some of the struggles you faced in getting that business, this establishment set up here in Kobe? What can you share with people about what that was like being non-Japanese and wanting to set up an entity here in Japan?
Yeah. Well, the bureaucracy here, for one,
Step
right?
one,
Which everybody knows,
yes,
right?
Exactly.
But there are things that you don't know about being in a community here, right? And just the etiquette, right?
Just
and
the kind of business etiquette and the normal situations.
Yeah, and Japan is known to be averse to change, and they
slow
wanna
change,
keep their
right?
Quiet,
Slow change.
Yeah, they want to keep their quiet little neighborhoods, and I understand why. So, for me to try and convince the community here that we have something to benefit the community,
some value to add, right?
Yeah, and that change is beneficial for this place, and that foreigners have something to offer of value.
Of course.
Right. So that's been kind of the struggle to convince the neighbors here, and they're slowly coming around to it, right? Coming around to it.
As I said before, we're just trying to support the economy. We're just trying to give back.
Absolutely.
So, a place like Bar Alchemy, I mean, and not even Bar Alchemy, but just Kobe in general, right? I mean, you have a city that was essentially, decimated by this earthquake. I mean, there was nothing happening here for a very, very long time. So any type of investment back in the community should be seen positively. You would hope, right?
Absolutely.
So.
Well, just to give you a little indication of how it affected Kobe, there were 23 embassies here.
Prior to the earthquake.
Okay. And now there's one. So all the embassies moved out, and so that's just a small.
Just kind of
speaks
to how things went down, right?
Yeah. So that's a big portion of the foreign community out. Right. So
go on.
Trying to bring everybody back, and especially in this area too. Prior to the earthquake, this place was really bustling. And
well, like you said, I mean, it's one of the original ports that was open to Western culture, Western exposure in Japan.
Exactly.
Right? So.
Yep. Yeah.
And I got one more question for you, Paul, before we cut it up. So we talk about community. The community sense here, it's a very, very important thing. I think this business is driven on community, right? As I would say most of your introduction to new people, even how I met you, is just word of mouth, right? You know, someone's like, hey, I know this place. You know, the owners are great. The staff is great. How long did it take you to build that sense of community here? And how do you say, how important is it, right? How important is it for this business, and how long did it take for you to get it?
Well, you know, we started thriving to build a community here right from the beginning. And we had some people coming in to teach from the US and from different places, right, that had some valuable things to offer this space. So right from the beginning, that was kind of the goal. Okay. But I would say that's absolutely number one.
Most important thing.
Above, everything else is the community.
And how much do you guys spend on, like, let's say, or not spend, but, you know, how much effort is put into marketing for you guys, or is it strictly word of mouth?
Yeah, I mean, at this point, we don't really advertise, so we depend on word of mouth from our friends and people that come through here, the cyclists and the international people that come through. And you know, up until this point, I think we've had probably more than 50 people from more than 50 countries come
visit. That's a nice little badge of honor.
Yeah, it's really amazing. So, you know, I think just focusing on the word of mouth aspect of this, friends of friends are coming in. They're respectful. They're polite. Right. It keeps
the
this
same
place
energy,
safe.
right?
Yeah, and So, and I think, I think it's been a slow grow, and of course, you know, we want to survive here. We want to make money.
Of course,
we have to make money to survive, but this slow grow has been really
worked. The organic kind of growth that you've had.
Absolutely, organic.
The growth has definitely worked. They are also, to my knowledge, they've just purchased a second facility in a neighboring area, Nishinomiya, Alchemy Nishinomiya. So some plans on expansion. That's a much bigger space, right?
Yeah, it's quite a bit bigger than the space that we have here,
and hopefully host lots of shows and all that good stuff.
Yeah,
okay.
Up for it. Yeah, same type of
vibe or people.
Yeah, hopefully,
excellent.
Yeah.
Well, if you guys see this episode, if you're in Kansai, if you find yourself in Kobe, please take a trip over to Bar Alchemy. Be respectful, be polite, but I know all my viewers, you all are. So, thank you again, Paul. It's been a pleasure interviewing, man. Anything you guys want to say before we head out? No?
Come on over.
Come on over.
We've got an interesting group of people here for you. So
come join the show, guys.
Yeah.
All right.
Come and relax.
Thank you very much, Paul. Take care.
Thank you
again, bud.